Guilt has been charging you for every moment you did not spend proving your worth. It has followed you into quiet rooms. It has sat beside you when the day was finished and whispered that you had not done enough. It has taken ordinary rest and turned it into something you felt required to earn. It has looked at a peaceful evening and asked what task was still unfinished. It has looked at comfort and demanded an explanation. It has looked at help and asked what you would owe in return. This is the hidden tax you may have been paying for years. It does not arrive on paper. It does not carry an official name. It appears as a tightening in your chest when you stop working. It appears as the urge to check one more message, solve one more problem, review one more number, or prepare for one more possibility before you let yourself be still. It appears when something kind comes toward you and your first instinct is not gratitude but concern. How much will this cost? What will be expected of me? Do I deserve this? Have I done enough to accept it? Will someone think I am lazy, careless, selfish, or ungrateful? The questions can move so quickly that you may not hear them as words. You may only feel the result: a heaviness, a guardedness, a quiet inability to rest inside what is already good. You may lie down while remaining inwardly upright, as though some unseen supervisor is still watching. Your body may be on the bed, but your mind continues to stand at attention. It reviews the day. It searches for mistakes. It reopens conversations. It calculates what must be handled tomorrow. It tries to predict what could go wrong. It rehearses explanations for decisions no one has questioned. It prepares defenses against criticism that has not arrived. It keeps the lights on inside you long after the room has gone dark. His does not mean you are weak. It does not mean you are failing at peace. It means you learn to connect safety with effort. You learn to connect goodness with payment. You learn to believe that ease might be followed by loss, judgment, disappointment, or a demand you were not ready to meet. When the heart has carried that lesson for a long time, rest can feel less like relief and more like exposure. Stillness can feel as though you have stepped away from your post. Comfort can feel temporary. Support can feel suspicious. A quiet night can become a courtroom where you present evidence that you have worked hard enough to be left alone. You may not say any of this aloud. You may be known as capable. You may be the one others call when something breaks, changes, becomes confusing, or needs to be handled quickly. You may have built a life around being dependable. There is dignity in that. There is strength in that. There is love in showing up. There is also a cost when your value becomes tied only to what you carry. The capable person is often offered more weight because everyone assumes they can manage it. The responsible person is often given less comfort because everyone assumes they do not need it. The one who rarely asks may become invisible in rooms where help is being offered. Over time, you may begin to participate in this pattern without realizing it. You may answer, "I'm fine," before checking whether it is true. You may say, It's okay while something inside you is asking for care. You may deflect a compliment. You may minimize your effort. You may make your needs smaller so no one has to adjust. You may feel embarrassed when someone pays for a meal, offers a favor, gives you time, or makes space for you. Instead of letting the kindness land, you immediately search for a way to repay it. You rush to restore the balance. You offer something back before you have fully taken in what was given. You turn support into a transaction because a transaction feels safer than being cared for. A transaction has rules. A gift requires trust. A transaction tells you what you owe. A gift asks you to remain open long enough to feel that you were considered. That openness can be difficult when you have spent years protecting yourself from dependence, disappointment, or shame. The guilt tax does not only affect rest, it shapes the way you relate to your resources. You may check your balance with a held breath even when there is no immediate emergency. You may brace before opening a bill. You may delay looking at numbers because you fear what your body will feel when you see them. Or you may look too often, searching for reassurance that never lasts. You may feel calm for a few minutes after checking, then feel pulled to check again. The number has not changed, but the need for certainty returns. You may believe that constant vigilance is the same as responsibility. They are not always the same. Responsibility can look at reality clearly and choose the next useful step. Vigilance looks at reality repeatedly because it does not trust that one clear look is enough. Responsibility can close the page after a decision has been made. Vigilance keeps the page open in case danger enters while you are not watching. You may undercharge for what you do because asking for fair payment brings discomfort. You may tell yourself you are being kind, flexible, realistic, or understanding. Sometimes that is true. Sometimes you are lowering the amount because you are trying to avoid the feeling of being judged. You may fear that naming your value will make people leave. You may fear that setting a boundary will make you seem difficult. You may fear that someone will compare you to another person and decide you are asking too much. You may spend hours making your work thoughtful and careful, then feel guilty when it is time to receive an amount that respects the care you gave. The work feels natural. The exchange feels dangerous. This can happen even when you know, logically, that fair exchange is healthy. The mind may understand. The body may still prepare for rejection. You may also feel guilt after ordinary spending. Not reckless spending, not harmful spending, ordinary spending. Food that supports you, clothing you need, a repair that makes life easier, a small comfort, a book, a meal prepared by someone else, a ride that saves your energy, a useful tool, a quiet pleasure. The purchase may fit within what you planned, yet a voice inside begins its interrogation. Was that necessary? Could you have waited? Should you have chosen the cheapest option? What if something happens later? What if you regret it? What if you are punished for relaxing your grip? You may enjoy the thing for a moment, Then reduce the enjoyment to prove you have not become careless. You may keep the receipt nearby as though you are preparing a defense. You may promise yourself you will not spend again for a while, even when no such promise is needed. You may try to cancel pleasure with restriction. You may believe this is discipline. Sometimes it is fear wearing the clothes of discipline. True discipline does not need to humiliate you. It does not make you feel dirty for having needs. It does not turn every choice into a moral test. It does not ask you to suffer in order to prove that you are trustworthy. You may postpone joy until things settle, when work becomes calmer, when the next bill is paid, when the family situation improves, when you have more saved, when the uncertain season passes, when you feel more secure, when you are less needed, when you are finally ahead. You may have lived through enough changing conditions to know that settled is a moving target. One concern leaves and another takes its place. One task is complete, and two more become visible. 1 month closes and the next begins. If joy is only permitted after every possible difficulty has disappeared, joy remains outside your life, waiting for a world that never becomes perfectly still. This is not because you do not want joy. It is because you may have learned that joy makes you less prepared. You may fear that contentment will soften your attention. You may fear that ease will make you careless. You may fear that if you stop worrying, something important will be missed. Worry then becomes a form of loyalty. You worry because you care. You worry because you want to protect the people you love. You worry because you do not want to repeat painful mistakes. You worry because vigilance once helped you survive a hard season. The mind remembers what helped during danger and keeps using it after the danger has changed. A strategy can outlive the moment that created it. The strategy does not know the season is different until you teach it. You may deflect help in ways that look admirable from the outside. You say you do not want to trouble anyone. You say others have enough to deal with. You say you can manage. You say it is easier to do it yourself. You say asking will take too long. You say you do not want to explain. Sometimes those reasons are practical. Sometimes they protect an older wound. The wound says help can be withdrawn. The wound says help can be used against you. The wound says receiving places you in someone else's control. The wound says dependence is dangerous. The wound says a need is a weakness others may judge. The wound says you must remain useful enough that no one regrets keeping you close. When that wound is active, you may choose exhaustion over uncertainty. At least exhaustion feels familiar. At least doing everything yourself lets you know where the responsibility lives. At least carrying the full load protects you from the ache of asking and hearing no. You may not realize how much energy goes into avoiding that possibility. You plan around it. You over-prepare. You bring extra. You save the useful item for someone else. You take the less comfortable seat. You volunteer before anyone asks. You offer your time before checking your capacity. You say yes quickly, then try to fit your own needs into whatever remains. At the end of the day, you may feel unseen. Yet some part of you has been hiding the very needs you wish others would recognize. This is not hypocrisy, it is protection. You want to be cared for, but you also want to remain safe. You want support, but you do not want the risk that can come with needing it. You want to rest, but you do not want to lose your identity as the one who can be counted on. You want a softer relationship with life, but you do not want to become unprepared. These are not small conflicts. They create an inward strain that is easy to misbe, because it has become normal. You may call it being realistic. You may call it staying on top of things. You may call it adulthood. You may call it responsibility. You may call it the way your family works. You may call it common sense. Underneath those names, there may be a much older sentence. I must earn every good thing. I must pay for comfort with effort. I must remain useful to remain secure. I must not need too much. I must not relax until everyone else is okay. I must not enjoy what could later be lost. I must never be caught unprepared. A sentence repeated for years can begin to feel like reality. It can shape your choices before you know a choice is being made. It can sit beneath your habits and quietly decide what feels safe. It can make overwork feel honorable and support feel dangerous. It can make self-denial look like maturity. It can make rest feel irresponsible. It can make ordinary needs feel excessive. It can make fair exchange feel selfish. It can make pleasure feel like a risk. The sentence may not have started with you. You may have heard versions of it at the kitchen table. You may have watched adults become tense when a bill arrived. You may have seen a parent go without and call it love. You may have heard arguments through a wall. You may have watched someone count small amounts carefully, then apologize for what could not be provided. You may have learned to read the mood of the room before asking for anything. You may have waited for the right moment to mention a school need, a broken item, a trip, a fee, or a simple desire. You may have decided it was kinder not to ask. You may have learned that being easy to care for was one way to protect the people you loved. Children are skilled at drawing conclusions from atmosphere. No one has to sit them down and teach a formal lesson. They watch faces. They hear tone. They sense what creates tension. They remember what brings relief. They make quiet decisions about what kind of person they need to become. You may have decided to be low maintenance. You may have decided to be helpful. You may have decided to grow up early. You may have decided never to be a burden. You may have decided you would always be prepared. You may have decided you would never repeat what you saw. Those decisions were intelligent attempts to create safety. They were not defects. They were not evidence that something was wrong with you. They were responses formed with the understanding you had at the time. A young mind does not have a full view of economics, family history, illness, layoffs, unequal opportunity. changing markets, or the private fears carried by adults. It only knows that the room changes when certain subjects appear. It only knows that asking can create tension. It only knows that someone looks tired. It only knows that peace seems connected to having fewer needs. From that limited vitae, a child may make a powerful promise: I will not make life harder. The promise may be loving. It may also become heavy. Years later, you can still be living inside it. You may have more choice now. You may have more skill. You may have new relationships. You may understand far more than you did then. Still, the old promise may continue working quietly. It may tell you to hide strain. It may tell you to solve before sharing. It may tell you to offer before asking. It may tell you that being loved means being useful. It may tell you that rest is acceptable only after complete exhaustion. This is why tiredness does not always lead directly to sleep. Sometimes tiredness meets an old rule. The body says, I have reached my limit. The rule says, not yet. The body asks for stillness. The rule asks for proof. The body begins to soften. The rule presents another task. The body wants darkness. The rule turns on every inner light. You can be deeply weary and still feel unable to stop. That experience can be confusing. You may wonder why you cannot do something as natural as resting. You may judge yourself for being awake. You may become frustrated with your own thoughts. You may try to force calm. Force rarely creates the safety that calm requires. The mind does not become quiet because it is scolded. The body does not release its watch because it is told to hurry. The part of you that remains alert is not trying to ruin the night. It is trying to protect you according to an old map. It believes that if it keeps reviewing, checking, planning, and preparing, it can prevent pain. It believes that worry is a guard at the door. It believes that tension is the price of responsibility. It believes that letting go, even briefly, could invite trouble. You do not need to hate this part of yourself. You do not need to fight it. You do not need to shame it for being outdated. You can respect the reason it formed while choosing not to let it lead every night. Compassion does not mean the pattern must continue. Understanding does not mean surrendering your future to an old conclusion. You can look at the habit clearly and say, I see why you came. You can also say, you do not have to work this hard anymore. There may have been times when constant awareness truly mattered. There may have been nights when you needed to listen for a sound, wait for a call, care for someone, prepare for an early shift, or make a difficult decision. There may have been months or years when uncertainty was not imagined. It was present. The pressure was real. The choices were limited. The future was unclear. You adapted. You became alert. You learned to stretch. You learned to go without. You learn to make plans inside narrow spaces. You learn to read changes quickly. You learn to keep moving when you were afraid. Those abilities deserve respect. You do not have to erase the strength that carried you. You are not being asked to become careless. You are not being asked to ignore reality. You are not being asked to pretend that practical concerns do not exist. You are being invited to separate readiness from punishment. You are being invited to separate care from constant tension. You are being invited to separate responsibility from the idea that you must suffer in order to be good. The old guilt tax may have convinced you that pain proves devotion. It may have convinced you that exhaustion proves commitment. It may have convinced you that denying yourself protects others. It may have convinced you that enjoying what you have is disrespectful to those who have less. It may have convinced you that peace should be delayed until every person you love is safe. Your love is real. Your concern is real. The conclusion does not have to remain. Your suffering does not reduce someone else's suffering. Your sleeplessness does not create security for another person. Your guilt does not become food, shelter, guidance, or opportunity for someone in need. You can care without making your nervous system pay the entire bill. You can be thoughtful without living under accusation. You can make wise choices without treating every desire as a threat. You can plan without rehearsing disaster. You can support others without disappearing from your own life. You can value effort without worshiping strain. These distinctions may feel unfamiliar. They may even feel uncomfortable. An old rule often calls freedom irresponsibility. It calls a boundary selfishness. It calls rest laziness. It calls support dependence. It calls fairness greed. It calls enoughness complacency. The rule uses harsh names because harsh names have power. They make you step back into the role it knows, the role of the one who carries, the one who solves, the one who waits, the one who needs little, the one who apologizes for taking up room, the one who remains awake after everyone else is settled. You may have been praised for this role. People may admire your strength. They may trust your judgment. They may depend on your steadiness. Their admiration does not require your exhaustion. Their needs do not erase your humanity. Being reliable does not mean being endlessly available. Being loving does not mean refusing care. Being wise does not mean expecting difficulty at every turn. Being prepared does not mean living as though danger is always minutes away. There is another kind of strength. It does not announce itself through strain. It does not need to prove its seriousness by staying tense. It can look at the day honestly and still close the door on it. It can say, "There is more to do," without making that sentence an emergency. It can say, "I do not know yet," without collapsing into fear. It can say, "I need help," without turning the request into a confession. It can say, "This is enough for tonight," and mean it. You may not fully trust that strength yet. Trust grows through experience. A single evening of loosening does not erase years of vigilance. A kind sentence does not instantly remove every old reflex. The work is not to perform perfect peace. The work is to stop making war with the part of you that is tired. There is no prize for reaching the end of yourself. There is no moral victory in staying tense after your useful work is done. There is no hidden judge awarding points for how much comfort you refused. The guilt tax was never proof of your goodness. It was a charge placed on experiences that did not need to be punished. A meal did not need an apology. A kind offer did not need immediate repayment. A quiet hour did not need to be justified. A needed purchase did not need shame attached to it. A boundary did not need a long defense. A night of rest did not need to be earned through collapse. You may not be ready to believe all of this completely. Complete belief is not required. A small opening is enough. The willingness to question one old rule is enough. The willingness to consider that your value remains present when you are not producing is enough. The willingness to let one unfinished task remain unfinished is enough. The willingness to stop proving for a few moments is enough. This is where the old charge begins to lose authority, not through force, not through denial, not through pretending the past did not shape you. It loses authority when you see it clearly, when you name the price, when you recognize how often you have paid, when you understand that the collector was never a true measure of your worth. The pattern was learned. What is learned can be examined. What is examined can be revised. What is revised can begin to feel natural with time. Tonight, you do not need to complete that entire journey. You only need to stop adding another charge to the account. You do not need to feel guilty for being tired. You do not need to solve your whole life before the room becomes quiet. You do not need to repay the day for ending. You do not need to prove that you deserve the hours ahead. The old rule may still speak. It may remind you of what remains undone. It may ask what tomorrow will bring. It may search for one more reason to stay alert. Let the voice be present without making it the authority. Let it speak from the corner rather than the center. It is an old employee following an outdated policy. You are the one who can change the policy. You are the one who can decide that goodness no longer arrives with a punishment attached. You are the one who can decide that care includes you. You are the one who can decide that being responsible and being rested are not enemies. You are the one who can decide that your heart does not have to carry every concern through the night. The first change is not dramatic, it is honest. You begin by admitting that the cost has been too high. The rule may have entered your life so quietly that you mistook it for your own voice. It may have come through tone rather than instruction. It may have come through the way adults paused before answering a request. It may have come through the sigh that followed an envelope being opened. It may have come through a conversation that stopped when you walked into the room. It may have come through praise for being easy, mature, sensible, or undemanding. You learned what brought tension. You learned what brought relief. You learned when to ask and when to remain silent. You learned how to make yourself useful when the atmosphere felt uncertain. No one needed to say that comfort had to be earned. You could feel it in the order of things. Work came first. Need came second. Rest came last. Sometimes rest did not come at all. You may have watched the people around you postpone themselves for years. They waited to replace what was worn. They ignored discomfort. They stretched what they had. They carried concern into every decision. They treated enjoyment as something that belonged to a later season. You may have admired their sacrifice. You may still admire it. Love was present in what they did. Devotion was present. Courage was present. The difficulty came when sacrifice became the only form of love you knew how to recognize. Care that did not hurt may have seemed less sincere. Support that did not demand repayment may have seemed unsafe. A good day without struggle may have seemed undeserved. The lesson was not always taught through hardship. It may also have come through expectations. You may have grown up in a home where achievement was noticed more quickly than emotion. You may have been celebrated for results, discipline, strength, or self-control. You may have learned that being impressive created warmth. You may have learned that success prevented criticism. You may have learned to produce before you could relax. You may have learned to complete what was expected before asking what you needed. The approval may have been real. The love may have been real. A young heart can still form a narrow conclusion. I am safest when I am useful. I am easiest to love when I am doing well. I should not need care while others are depending on me. I must stay ahead of trouble. Those conclusions are not character flaws. They are attempts to understand how belonging works. A child builds meaning from repeated moments, a look, a warning, a comparison, a tense silence, a compliment given only after achievement, an apology heard after spending, a promise that things will be better later. Each moment may seem small. Together, as they create an inner rule book. The rules continue operating after the original home, season, or circumstance has changed. You may now be far from the rooms where they formed. You may have built a different life. You may speak to others with more kindness than you received. You may understand that needs are human. You may encourage people you love to rest. You may tell them not to be so hard on themselves. You may mean every word. Then night comes and you return to a harsher standard for yourself. You offer understanding outwardly. You withhold it inwardly. You tell another person that they have done enough. You tell yourself to keep going. You reassure someone that accepting help does not make them weak. You refuse the same support when it reaches you. This difference does not mean your kindness is false. It means the old rule is personal. It was shaped around your place in the family, your role in the room, and the ways you learned to remain secure. You may have become the steady one, the achiever, the peacemaker, the helper, the quiet one, the one who did not add another problem, the one who noticed what others needed, the one who prepared for what might happen. Roles can become identities when they are practiced long enough. An identity then begins to protect itself. The helper may feel lost when no one needs help. The achiever may feel uneasy during an ordinary day. The steady one may hide sadness because sadness seems inconsistent with the role. The peacemaker may avoid a necessary boundary because conflict feels like failure. The quiet one may continue withholding even when there is room to speak. A role that once helped you belong can later restrict the way you live. You do not need to reject everything it gave you. Your awareness may be a strength. Your care may be a strength. Your ability to prepare may be a strength. Your willingness to contribute may be a strength. The healing begins when these qualities become choices rather than requirements. You can help without proving that you deserve a place. You can work without turning effort into a punishment. You can prepare without expecting disaster. You can care without carrying every outcome. You can be generous without abandoning your limits. You can be capable and still have needs. You can be strong and still become tired. You can be responsible and still close your eyes. This is a change in relationship, not a rejection of who you are. The old approach says your worth rises and falls with performance. The new approach says performance is something you do. It is not the substance of who you are. The old approach says a difficult feeling must be fixed before you may rest. The new approach says some feelings become clearer after rest. The old approach says every uncertainty must be resolved. The new approach says you can meet tomorrow with the strength available tomorrow. The old approach says stopping is dangerous. The new approach says stopping can restore judgment. These changes may sound simple. They become meaningful when practiced in actual moments. When you see an unread message and decide it can wait until daylight. When you feel the urge to explain a boundary and choose one clear sentence instead. When you accept an offer without immediately searching for repayment. When you look at a planned expense without making yourself guilty for having a life. When you recognize that a concern is real but does not need to be reviewed again tonight. The mind learns through repetition and experience. It studies what you do after fear appears. It watches whether you obey the old instruction. It records what happens when you respond differently. When you rest and the world does not collapse, the mind receives new information. When you ask for support and remain respected, it receives new information. When you make a calm decision instead of a frightened one, it receives new information. When you stop apologizing for a reasonable need, it receives new information. The lesson is not carried by words alone. Words guide attention. Experience deepens the lesson. This is why affirmations are most useful when they do not demand that you deny reality. A sentence cannot erase a bill. It cannot replace a budget. It cannot solve unfair conditions, unstable work, debt, caregiving pressure, or limited access to opportunity. A sentence can interrupt shame. It can help you face a number without turning the number into a judgment of your character. It can support a clearer conversation. It can make room for a boundary. It can remind you that fear is not the only voice available when a decision must be made. These affirmations support mindset. They are not financial advice. Real financial pressure deserves practical steps, trustworthy information, and qualified guidance when that is available and appropriate. There is dignity in seeking help. There is wisdom in asking questions. There is strength in learning what you were never taught. There is no failure in needing a plan. There is no shame in beginning with a small step. Inner work and practical action can stand beside each other. One does not have to cancel the other. A calmer mind can make it easier to read the page in front of you. It can help you remain present during a difficult conversation. It can help you ask what an option truly costs. It can help you say no when pressure is being placed on you. It can help you admit that something needs attention without deciding that you are a bad person. The quality of the inner voice matters because it affects what you are willing to look at. Shame makes people hide. Fear can make people rush. Guilt can make people agree too quickly. Unworthiness can make people accept less than is fair. A steady inner view, Louise, makes another response possible. You may still feel fear. You may still face limits. You may still need to make changes. You are less likely to punish yourself while doing so. That matters. Beliefs steer attention. If you expect every good thing to carry a hidden cost, your attention searches for the cost. If you expect criticism after naming a need, your attention searches for signs of disapproval. If you believe you are always one mistake away from losing stability, your attention stays fixed on danger. The mind then gathers evidence that matches the expectation. A neutral delay can feel like rejection. A question can feel like accusation. An ordinary expense can feel like proof of failure. A quiet evening can feel like wasted time. This does not mean you imagined every difficulty. It means the old expectation influences which details feel most important. Beliefs also steer choices. When you expect rejection, you may not ask. When you expect guilt, you may refuse. When you expect loss, you may cling. When you expect judgment, you may understate your needs. When you expect that rest will make you fall behind, you may continue working after your judgment has weakened. The choice seems logical because the expectation beneath it remains unquestioned. Beliefs steer self-talk. A mistake becomes, I always ruin things. A delay becomes, I am already behind. A need becomes, I should be able to handle this alone. A tired evening becomes, I did not do enough. The event and the interpretation become fused. You stop seeing the sentence as a sentence. It begins to feel like a fact. Beliefs steer courage as well. Courage is not always a dramatic act. Sometimes it is sending the fair price. Sometimes it is opening the statement. Sometimes it is asking for clarification. Sometimes it is admitting that you do not understand. Sometimes it is ending work at a reasonable hour. Sometimes it is accepting that one thoughtful decision is enough for today. When the inner sentence changes, the choices downstream can begin to change. Not all at once, not perfectly, not without resistance. The direction changes. You become more able to see an option that fear had hidden. You become more willing to ask a question. You become less likely to turn one difficult moment into a prophecy. You become more prepared to act from reality rather than from an old alarm. This is modest work. It is also powerful work. The aim is not to convince yourself that everything is easy. The aim is to stop making everything harder through self-accusation. The aim is not to promise that uncertainty will disappear. The aim is to build a steadier way of meeting it. The aim is not to deny tiredness. The aim is to stop treating tiredness as evidence that you have failed. The heart becomes exhausted when it is asked to solve what is not solvable at night. It becomes exhausted when every open question is treated as urgent. It becomes exhausted when care is measured only through sacrifice. It becomes exhausted when rest is interrupted by the need to justify rest. You may have spent years holding your life as tightly as you could. The grip may have begun with love. You wanted to protect what mattered. You wanted to avoid repeating painful experiences. You wanted to keep your promises. You wanted to remain ready. You wanted to keep the people you loved from feeling what you had felt. A strong grip can seem like the safest answer. There is a point, however, when the grip begins to work against the direction you want to go. Picture a boat leaning hard under the pressure of a filled sail. The wind is strong. The water is moving quickly beneath it. The rope is held too tightly. The sail pulls without relief. The boat strains to one side. Its edge presses close to the water. Every part of it seems to be working harder than necessary. The person holding the rope may believe that more control will bring more speed. The opposite begins to happen. The boat is fighting its own force. It is not weak. It is overloaded by tension. The wind is not the enemy. The sail is not the enemy. The rope is not the enemy. The problem is the refusal to ease even a little. One hand remains closed because opening feels dangerous. What if the boat loses direction? What if the sail becomes useless? What if easing means surrendering control? The hand holds harder. The boat leans farther. The ride becomes rougher. progress becomes less steady. Then the rope is loosened by the width of a hand, not dropped, not abandoned, not thrown into the water, eased. A small amount, enough for the sail to change shape, enough for the pressure to distribute differently, enough for the boat to begin leveling. The shift may look almost insignificant from a distance. Inside the boat, everything changes. The strain reduces. The movement becomes cleaner. The hull settles into the water. The boat stops spending so much energy fighting its own angle. It begins to move with greater steadiness. It may even move faster. Less grip creates more way. This is not carelessness. The hand is still present. The person is still attentive. The direction still matters. The rope is still held. Control has become responsive rather than rigid. The lesson is not that you should release every responsibility. The lesson is that responsibility can be held with intelligence. There are moments when tightening is needed. There are moments when easing is wiser. A tired heart often needs the second. You may have been holding every concern as though the wind could change without warning. You may have believed that your constant tension was keeping the boat upright. You may have credited the grip for every safe arrival. You may not have considered that skill also lives in adjustment. Skill lives in feeling when strain has become too much. Skill lives in knowing that pressure does not always create progress. Skill lives in making a small change before exhaustion makes the decision for you. Tonight, easing may mean leaving one question unanswered. It may mean refusing to review a choice you already made carefully. It may mean admitting that your body has reached its useful limit. It may mean letting tomorrow hold what belongs to tomorrow. You do not have to drop the rope. You do not have to become indifferent. You do not have to stop caring. You do not have to trust every circumstance. You can loosen one hand's width. That may be enough for this night. The old part of you may resist. It may insist that any easing is unsafe. It may tell you that vigilance is the reason you have made it this far. Honor what vigilance did. Then look at what it is doing now. Is it helping you choose, or is it making you repeat the same thought? Is it guiding an action, or is it keeping your body prepared for an action that cannot happen before morning? Is it showing you new information, or is it returning you to the same fear? A useful thought has direction. It points toward a step. A looping thought has strain. It circles without carrying you forward. The boat can be moving through water while still wasting force. The mind can be active while making no progress. Activity and progress are not the same. Tension and care are not the same. Exhaustion and devotion are not the same. A looser grip can still be responsible. A rested mind can still be serious. A peaceful heart can still make practical choices. You do not lose your values when you stop punishing yourself. You do not lose your wisdom when you stop rehearsing every possible outcome. You do not lose control when you make room for adjustment. You may gain something more useful than control. You may gain responsiveness. A rigid hand can only hold. A responsive hand can feel. It can sense the pull. It can adjust to changing wind. It can protect direction without fighting every movement. Your inner life needs that responsiveness. There are nights when the concern deserves a note for tomorrow. There are nights when the concern deserves a conversation. There are nights when it deserves expert help. There are nights when it deserves no more attention until you have rested. Wisdom learns the difference. Guilt does not know the difference. Guilt says every issue must be paid for immediately. Wisdom asks, what can truly be done now? Guilt says sleep is avoidance. Wisdom knows that fatigue distorts judgment. Guilt says you should stay tense because something matters. Wisdom says something can matter without occupying every hour. The old tax was collected through urgency. Every thought arrived marked as immediate. Every concern asked for full payment. Every need carried the pressure of now. You can begin to change that system. You can decide that some concerns will be met in daylight. You can decide that some choices deserve information before emotion. You can decide that some fears are signals to prepare, not commands to suffer. You can decide that your body is part of every practical plan. It needs restoration. It needs quiet. It needs periods when no problem is being solved. This is not time stolen from your responsibilities. It is part of how you meet them with greater clarity. The boat does not become more capable by remaining at its most strained angle. It becomes more capable when pressure is adjusted. Your heart is asking for that adjustment, not an escape, not a denial, a hand's width of easing, enough to stop fighting yourself, enough to let your effort become cleaner, enough to feel that steadiness can exist without punishment, enough to understand that rest is not the opposite of direction. You are not abandoning the journey. You are learning how not to exhaust yourself while making it. The rope does not need to leave your hand for the strain to change. You can remain connected to what matters. You can remain aware of direction. You can remain willing to act when action is useful. The shift begins when you stop confusing a closed fist with safety. A closed fist cannot feel subtle changes. It only knows how to hold. It cannot sense when the pull has become uneven. It cannot respond with precision. It cannot distinguish a passing gust from a lasting change. It tightens because tightening is the one answer it trusts. You may recognize this in the way your mind handles concern. One response becomes the response to everything. Think harder, prepare more, check once more. Keep going. Stay awake. Do not relax yet. The instruction remains the same even when the situation is different. A practical issue receives the same inner alarm as an imagined possibility. A tomorrow problem receives the same attention as a present emergency. A minor uncertainty receives the same grip as a serious risk. The hand does not ask what this moment needs. It repeats what once kept you safe. This is why easing can feel strange at first. It requires attention of a different kind. You are not turning away from the wind. You are feeling it more accurately. You are not pretending the rope carries no force. You are responding to the amount of force that is actually there. You are not becoming passive. You are becoming less automatic. The boat teaches through its movement. When the line is pulled too hard, the sail becomes rigid with pressure. The boat leans. The water pushes against the hull at an inefficient angle. The person holding the line may work harder while gaining less. The body braces, the arm aches, every movement feels urgent because, see, the whole vessel is under strain. Then the hand opens slightly, only slightly. The rope moves a short distance. The sail gives. The boat begins to level. The water meets the hull more cleanly. The direction becomes easier to hold. The person has not stopped steering. They have stopped fighting the conditions with unnecessary force. Your inner world can level in a similar way. You do not have to release every plan. You do not have to forget every obligation. You do not have to decide that nothing matters. You can ease the pressure you have added to what already matters. The difference is important. There is the concern itself. Then there is the force with which you hold the concern. There is the decision. Then there is the accusation you attach to the decision. There is the practical need. Then there is the shame you attach to having the need. There is tomorrow's responsibility. Then there is tonight's demand that you solve it before sleep. The second layer creates much of the strain. The concern may remain, the pressure around it can change. The decision may still require attention. The self-judgment can be loosened. The responsibility may still be yours. The punishment does not have to be. You may have believed that self-pressure keeps you moving. Sometimes it does move you. It may move you quickly. It may also move you with fear, resentment, confusion, or exhaustion. It may make every step feel as though something is chasing you. It may make completion impossible because the mind immediately searches for the next reason to tense. A calmer form of motivation can feel unfamiliar if you were shaped by urgency. It may seem too quiet to trust. It may seem as though nothing will happen unless you frighten yourself into action. You may worry that kindness will make you careless. You may worry that lowering inner pressure will lower your standards. You may worry that if guilt is removed, discipline will disappear with it. Discipline does not require cruelty. Standards do not require shame. Care does not require fear. You can act because something matters. You do not have to act because you are threatening yourself. You can prepare because preparation is wise. You do not have to prepare as punishment for being uncertain. You can correct a mistake because correction is useful. You do not have to turn the mistake into a verdict on your worth. A steadier sentence begins to create a steadier response. The sentence for this night is born from the small movement of the rope. I ease my grip and life carries me forward. You do not need to force yourself to believe it fully. Let it stand near you. Let it offer another possibility. The old rule may answer quickly. It may say that easing is dangerous. It may say that life cannot be trusted. It may remind you of times when you relaxed and something went wrong. It may bring forward memories of promises that were broken, support that disappeared, or plans that changed without warning. Those memories deserve respect. They do not have to decide every future response. The sentence does not claim that nothing difficult will happen. It does not ask you to hand your judgment over to chance. It says that constant strain is not the only source of movement. It says your effort can work beside timing, support, rest, learning, and changing conditions. It says the boat can move because the wind is present, the sail is shaped, the water is carrying, and the hand is responsive. Not everything depends on force. Let the sentence soften into a form your body may be more willing to accept. I am learning to ease my grip, and life can still carry me forward. There is no demand inside that version. It does not claim you have completed the lesson. It makes room for practice. It respects resistance. It honors the fact that trust may need to be rebuilt through many ordinary experiences. The sentence does not ask you to leap. It asks you to loosen a hand's width. One concern set down until morning. One apology not given when no apology is needed. One offer accepted without immediate repayment. One unfinished task left where it is. One moment of comfort not followed by accusation. These are small adjustments. The boat responds to small adjustments. Your mind does too. Let the central sentence return in its clearest form. I ease my grip, and life carries me forward. Hear the balance inside it. You are still present. You are still holding direction. You are not being carried away. You are being carried forward. The word forward does not promise speed. It does not promise a straight path. It does not promise ease in every circumstance. It points toward movement that does not require you to strain every part of yourself. Let it return in a quieter frame. For tonight, I ease my grip and life carries me forward. The words "for tonight" create a boundary the mind may trust. You are not signing away your future judgment. You are not deciding how you must live forever. You are making one wise adjustment for the hours ahead. The rope remains in reach. The direction remains yours. Morning will bring its own view of the water. There will be time to assess. There will be time to act. There will be time to seek information. There will be time to ask for guidance. There will be time to change course when change is needed. Rest is not the loss of that time. Rest prepares you to use it. 7 clear sentences can now take their place beside the central one. They are not tests. They are not promises of sudden wealth. They do not ask you to deny pressure or pretend that every circumstance is fair. They support a calmer relationship with effort, value, support, and practical choice. Let each line be complete. I can rest without owing the world more effort. I meet my needs without turning them into guilt. I welcome fair support while keeping my dignity. I make practical choices from steadiness, not shame. I release the strain that does not improve my direction. I trust myself to meet tomorrow in tomorrow's light. I ease my grip, and life carries me forward. These 7 lines belong together. The first removes the old invoice from rest. You may have treated stopping as though it created a debt. You worked, then believed you should work more. You completed what was necessary, then searched for what else could be done. You lay down, then felt guilty for not using the time differently. The line does not say you will never work hard. It says rest does not place you in moral debt. Your value does not decrease while your eyes are closed. Your devotion does not disappear when your hands are still. The people you care about do not become less loved because you stop carrying them in thought for a few hours. The boat does not abandon its direction when the pressure on the line is reduced. It becomes better able to travel. The second line changes the way need is interpreted. A need is not automatically a failure. Hunger is information. Fatigue is information. Confusion is information. The need for advice is information. The need for time is information. The need for a boundary is information. The need for practical help is information. You can respond without turning the signal into a charge against yourself. A boat that needs adjustment is not a bad boat. A hand that needs relief is not a weak hand. A sail that must be eased is not an unworthy sail. Conditions change. Needs change. Wise responses change with them. You are permitted to respond to what is true. The third line opens the possibility of support without surrendering self-respect. Support does not require you to become powerless. You can ask questions. You can maintain boundaries. You can choose whom you trust. You can decline what carries harmful conditions. You can accept what is freely and respectfully offered. You can participate in fair exchange without apologizing for being included in it. You do not have to reject every helping hand to prove that you can steer. Another person's knowledge may help you read the wind. A professional's guidance may clarify an option. A trusted conversation may help you see where the pull has become too strong. Receiving useful support can be part of responsible movement. The fourth line protects practical choice from shame. Shame narrows vision. It makes you want to hide the page, avoid the conversation, or agree quickly so the discomfort will end. Steadiness creates room. You can look at what is present. You can separate facts from fear. You can ask what step is useful. You can take time when time is available. You can admit when more information is needed. A calm choice is not always an easy choice. It may still involve limits. It may still require a difficult no. It may still require adjustment. The difference is that you do not have to attack yourself while choosing. The fifth line distinguishes productive pressure from wasted strain. Some force moves the sail. Too much force pulls the boat off balance. Some concern leads to preparation. Too much concern repeats itself without improving the plan. Some attention helps you act. Too much attention keeps you circling the same thought. You can ask a useful question. Is this strain changing my direction for the better? If the answer is yes, it may be pointing toward a step. If the answer is no, the strain may be ready to ease. You are not required to keep every muscle of the mind tightened around a problem that cannot be changed tonight. The sixth line gives tomorrow back its rightful place. Tonight may be trying to do tomorrow's work. It may be trying to create certainty before new information arrives. It may be trying to make a morning decision with an exhausted mind. Tomorrow's light does not guarantee a perfect answer. It offers a different state, a rested view, a wider sense of proportion. The ability to speak, read, calculate, ask, or decide with more capacity. Trusting yourself to meet tomorrow does not mean expecting tomorrow to be effortless. It means believing that you do not have to live it in advance. The seventh line returns to the rope. It holds the whole lesson in one movement. You ease, life carries, you remain involved. The world is not asked to obey you. You are not asked to disappear. Effort and support exist together. Direction and rest exist together. Attention and softness exist together. The hand is not empty. It is responsive. Resistance may still rise after hearing these lines. A part of you may say they sound kind, but unrealistic. That part may point toward real pressure. Listen without surrendering to its harshness. Kindness does not make pressure unreal. Harshness does not make you more accurate. You can face a difficult circumstance with a respectful inner voice. You can seek qualified guidance without calling yourself foolish. You can revise a plan without calling yourself a failure. You can admit that something is beyond your current knowledge without turning the admission into shame. You can be honest and compassionate at the same time. Another part may say you have tried affirmations before. You may have spoken sentences that felt distant from your experience. You may have felt frustrated when your body did not respond. The problem was not necessarily your sincerity. The sentence may have asked too much distance at once. A bridge is useful when the mind cannot accept the far shore. You do not need to declare complete trust. You can begin with willingness. I am becoming willing to loosen what fear has held too tightly. That line does not erase fear. It changes your relationship to it. Fear may remain in the boat. It does not have to hold the rope alone. Wisdom can place a hand beside it. Experience can place a hand beside it. Practical knowledge can place a hand beside it. Rest can place a hand beside it. You can say to the fearful part, you have worked hard. You can say, I understand why you want control. You can say, we are not dropping everything. You can say, we are changing the amount of force. The response may not be immediate. The hand may still tremble. The line may move unevenly. That does not make the adjustment a failure. A body accustomed to strain may interpret softness as unfamiliar before it interprets it as safe. Give it honest evidence. Let the evidence be ordinary. You stop for the night, and the necessary work remains available tomorrow. You accept a reasonable kindness, and your dignity remains intact. You set a fair boundary, and you remain a caring person. You look at a practical concern without insulting yourself. You ask for guidance and become better informed. You choose rest and wake with more capacity. These moments become the new record. They teach what argument alone cannot teach. They show that easing is not the same as losing. They show that support is not the same as surrender. They show that rest is not the same as neglect. They show that a responsive hand can guide more wisely than a rigid one. There may also be grief inside the resistance. You may realize how long you have been paying the old tax. You may remember evenings that could have held peace. You may remember offers you refused. You may remember needs you hid. You may remember how often you made yourself smaller to protect others from discomfort. Do not turn that realization into another accusation. The aim is not to judge the person you were. That person was steering with the knowledge available. That person held tightly because the water had once felt unpredictable. That person survived changing conditions. That person brought you here. Respect the effort. Change the grip. You do not honor your past by repeating every strain it created. You honor it by using what you learned with greater wisdom. You keep the courage. You keep the discernment. You keep the willingness to act. You release the idea that suffering must accompany every responsible choice. The boat is beginning to level, not because the wind vanished, not because the journey ended, not because every risk was removed. The pressure changed. The hand became more skillful. The force that once pulled everything sideways is no longer being fed without question. Feel the meaning of that. Your lay, amphi, may still contain motion. Your mind does not have to become a storm inside that motion. Your responsibilities may still be real. Your body does not have to remain braced against all of them at once. Your future may still be unknown. You do not have to tighten around every unknown. There is movement beneath you. There is capacity within you. There are practical steps available in their proper time. There are forms of support you may learn to recognize. There are decisions that become clearer when you stop demanding an answer from exhaustion. For now, the line moves through your hand. A little less pressure, a little more balance, a little more way. The boat does not become steadier by pretending the rope is not there. It becomes steadier when the hand learns a wiser relationship with it. There is a difference between holding and gripping. Holding keeps contact. Gripping turns contact into strain. Holding can adjust. Gripping fears movement. Holding can sense what is happening. Gripping assumes that any change means danger. You may have spent a long time living from the second response. It may have entered the way you accepted kindness. You may have felt safer giving than receiving. Giving let you choose the amount. Giving let you decide the timing. Giving kept you in the familiar role. Receiving asked you to remain present while someone else contributed. It asked you to tolerate the feeling of being considered. It asked you to let another person have agency. It asked you to trust that not every act of care hides a debt. That can feel vulnerable when you learned that help came with conditions. You may remember favors that were mentioned later. You may remember generosity used as leverage. You may remember support followed by criticism. You may remember being made to feel costly. You may remember someone helping while making sure you understood how much trouble you had caused. Experiences like these teach the hand to close. The hand decides that dependence is dangerous. It decides that accepting anything gives someone else too much power. It decides that the safest way to move is to need as little as possible. You may have carried that decision into relationships that are different from the ones that formed it. You may now be surrounded by people who offer with respect. You may have access to forms of guidance that do not demand your submission. You may be able to ask questions, consider options, and walk away when something is not right. The old response may still arrive first. No, thank you. I can manage. It is not necessary. Someone else needs it more. I do not want to be a problem. The words may leave your mouth before you have examined the offer. Refusal may feel clean because it protects you from uncertainty. Acceptance can feel complicated because it opens emotion. You do not have to accept everything. Discernment remains important. The lesson is not to open every door. The lesson is to stop closing every door out of habit. A responsive hand does not release the line whenever pressure appears. It reads the conditions. It asks what supports balance. It keeps what is useful. It loosens what is excessive. It tightens when a true change requires it. The same wisdom can guide the way you relate to support. Some offers are respectful. Some carry unspoken expectations. Some are clear exchanges. Some are manipulative. Some help you grow. Some keep you small. You are capable of learning the difference. You are not required to distrust everything in order to remain safe. You are not required to trust everything in order to remain open. Openness without discernment can expose you. Discernment without openness can isolate you. The wiser path holds both. You can ask what is being offered. You can ask what is expected. You can ask whether there are conditions. You can ask for time to think. You can accept part of an offer and decline the rest. You can say yes without giving away your voice. You can say no without proving the other person is bad. You can change your mind when new information appears. Dignity does not require distance from everyone. Dignity means you remain present in your own decisions. The guilt tax often tries to interfere with this clarity. It says that receiving makes you selfish. It says that taking up resources deprives someone else. It says that comfort must be justified by suffering. It says that if another person gives, you must immediately restore equality. This creates an impossible speed of repayment. A kind word must be returned. A favor must be matched. A gift must be answered. A meal must be balanced. A moment of care must be followed by proof that you are still independent. The exchange becomes so rapid that nothing has time to reach the heart. Care touches the surface and is pushed back before it can be felt. You may call this fairness. Fairness matters. Healthy exchange matters. Mutual respect matters. Not every moment has to be balanced immediately. Some relationships breathe across time. One person brings strength today. Another brings strength later. One person listens. Another helps with a task. One offers knowledge. Another offers patience. The exchange is living, not mechanical. It does not need to be measured every hour. When the rope is handled well, it moves. It is not frozen in one position. There are moments of greater pull. There are moments of ease. The movement is what protects balance. A relationship can carry movement too. You can contribute without keeping a private ledger. You can accept care without entering debt in your mind. You can let generosity be generosity. You can still keep your boundaries. You can still see patterns. You can still step away from those who repeat. Ted Lee used kindness to control. Retiring guilt does not retire wisdom. It makes wisdom easier to hear. Guilt speaks loudly. It rushes you. It tells you to repay before you have understood what happened. It makes every exchange feel like a test of character. Wisdom takes a clearer look. Was this freely offered? Is this safe to accept? Does this respect both people? Do I have room for this? What response is honest? A calm answer may be yes. A calm answer may be no. The value lies in the honesty, not in always choosing one direction. You may also need to reconsider what fairness means in the way you treat yourself. You may give others the better portion. You may leave yourself what remains. You may provide patience outwardly while using pressure inwardly. You may create room for another person's learning while demanding immediate perfection from yourself. You may encourage someone to seek advice while feeling ashamed that you need it. This imbalance is often invisible because self-neglect can look like generosity. It can earn praise. It can make you appear easy to work with. It can make relationships smoother in the short term. The longer cost appears inside. Resentment grows where honest limits were never spoken. Exhaustion grows where capacity was never checked. Confusion grows where your own preferences were repeatedly dismissed. Loneliness grows where care moved in only one direction. You may tell yourself that giving more will eventually make you feel secure. You may hope that perfect usefulness will guarantee belonging. It cannot. Belonging built only on usefulness is not secure belonging. It requires constant proof. The moment you are tired, uncertain, unavailable, or in need, fear returns. You begin to wonder whether your place is still safe. A more stable sense of worth does not depend entirely on output. It recognizes your effort. It respects your contribution. It also recognizes your humanity when you have nothing impressive to offer. You remain worthy of respectful treatment when you are learning. You remain worthy when you are quiet. You remain worthy when you need time. You remain worthy when you are not the strongest person in the room. You remain worthy when you ask a basic question. You remain worthy when a plan must be revised. You remain worthy when you cannot solve everything alone. This is not a claim that every person will treat you well. Some will not. Your worth does not control their behavior. It supports your ability to recognize when their behavior is not acceptable. It helps you leave what repeatedly diminishes you. It helps you stop negotiating against yourself before anyone else has spoken. It helps you speak with greater clarity. It helps you recover from rejection without turning rejection into identity. The hand that eases is not weak. It has stopped using pain as proof of seriousness. You can approach practical matters in the same spirit. You can make a plan without insulting yourself for needing one. You can review your expenses without turning the review into punishment. You can learn a new skill without pretending you should already know it. You can ask a qualified person for guidance without handing over your judgment. You can set a limit without making the limit a sentence against joy. You can prepare for the future without treating the present as a place you are not permitted to live. The practical step and the inner sentence can work beside each other. One helps you face the outer condition. The other helps you remain whole while facing it. There may be a call to make. There may be information to gather. There may be a boundary to set. There may be an arrangement to reconsider. There may be a conversation you have delayed because shame made it feel unbearable. A steadier heart does not make these tasks disappear. It changes the way you approach them. You become less likely to hide, less likely to rush, less likely to agree from fear, less likely to assume the worst before the facts are clear, less likely to punish yourself for being in a human situation. That shift has value. It can change which questions you ask. It can change how long you consider an option. It can change whether you speak up when something is unclear. It can change whether you protect your energy enough to think. The old pattern may say that rest must wait until every outer condition improves. The boat offers another lesson. Balance is needed during the journey, not only after arrival. If the person waits until the water is perfectly calm before adjusting the rope, the adjustment may never happen. Movement is already present. Conditions are already changing. The skill is used inside the movement. You do not have to postpone all inner steadiness until every pressure has passed. You can build steadiness while handling what is real. You can create a quiet space before making a difficult call. You can end an evening even when the plan is incomplete. You can let your body recover before returning to a complicated page. You can say, "This deserves attention," without saying, "This deserves every remaining part of me." The distinction protects you. It protects the quality of your decisions. It protects your ability to listen. It protects the relationships you want to keep. It protects the part of you that has been carrying more than anyone can see. You may fear that if you stop using guilt, nothing will motivate you. Look closely at what already motivates you. You care about stability. You care about the people you love. You care about doing work with integrity. You care about meeting your responsibilities. You care about learning. You care about making thoughtful choices. These values existed before the accusation. They will remain after the accusation softens. Uilt did not create your devotion. It attached itself to your devotion. It told you that pain was the source of your goodness. It was not. Your goodness is present in the care itself. The pain is not required. The hand can remain on the line without cramping around it. The sail can remain open without pulling the boat sideways. The vessel can keep moving without proving its commitment through strain. Your values can guide you without an inner threat. You may need time to trust this. An old method can feel effective because it is familiar. You may remember all the times pressure pushed you through. You may forget the cost, the sleeplessness, the irritability, the decisions made with too little capacity, the resentment that followed an automatic yes, the shame after a reasonable need, the fear that returned even after success, the inability to enjoy what your effort created. A method should be judged by its whole effect, not only by whether it produced movement. A boat can move while leaning dangerously. A person can achieve while becoming inwardly exhausted. The question is not only whether you continued, the question is how you were carried. Were you able to feel the life you were working to protect? Were you able to accept any comfort along the way? Were you able to recognize enough for a moment? Were you able to remain connected to your own voice? There is no accusation in these questions. They are invitations to a more complete measure. Progress that destroys your capacity is not the only kind available. Care that excludes you is not the only kind of care. Responsibility that requires constant self-punishment is not the only kind of responsibility. You can learn another form. It may begin with smaller decisions than you expect. You accept the chair offered to you. You let someone finish helping. You stop reducing a compliment. You state the true amount of time a task requires. You do not volunteer before checking your strength. You leave room in the plan. You make a purchase that was already considered without reopening the case against yourself. You seek trustworthy guidance when the situation exceeds your knowledge. You let one person know that you are carrying something difficult. You close the page when no useful decision can be made. Each act loosens the line. Each act teaches the body that dignity can remain while support enters. Each act shows that care does not have to be paid for with disappearance. There may be discomfort. Discomfort is not always a warning. Sometimes it is the feeling of leaving an old role. The role knew how to survive by doing more. It does not yet know how to survive while being seen. It knew how to contribute. It does not yet know how to stand still while kindness arrives. It knew how to earn its place. It does not yet know that a place can be held without constant proof. Be patient with that part. Do not mock its caution. Do not force it into trust. Let it gather evidence. A respectful offer is accepted. Nothing harmful follows. A boundary is spoken. The relationship remains intact. A need is named. You are not rejected. A task waits until daylight. You meet it with clearer thought. A moment of rest is taken. Your values remain. Evidence reaches places that argument cannot. The nervous system listens to what happens after you choose differently. It asks whether the boat remained upright. It asks whether direction was lost. It asks whether the feared consequence arrived. When the answer is no, a new possibility enters. Not certainty, possibility. That is enough to begin. You can become more available to calm decisions. You can become more willing to accept fair exchange. You can become more comfortable asking clear questions. You can become less willing to turn exhaustion into a virtue. You can become more respectful of your own limits. This is not a dramatic transformation made in one night. It is a series of small adjustments. The line moves, the sail responds, the hull settles. The journey becomes less punishing. You may discover that some of your strength returns when it is no longer spent on unnecessary resistance. Energy once used for self-criticism becomes available for thought. Energy once used for hiding becomes available for conversation. Energy once used for repayment becomes available for gratitude. Energy once used for rehearsing disaster becomes available for preparation. Energy once used for proving becomes available for living. This is how less grip can create more way. The change does not come from pretending the wind is always favorable. It comes from using your strength with greater skill. There will still be days of pressure. There will still be choices that demand courage. There will still be moments when the line needs your full attention. A rested hand responds better. A respected heart listens better. A mind free from constant accusation sees more clearly. You are not trying to become untouched by life. You are learning to move through it without adding punishment to every challenge. You are learning that support can stand beside effort. You are learning that boundaries can stand beside kindness. You are learning that practical action can stand beside inner peace. You are learning that dignity can remain while you accept help. You are learning that rest does not remove direction. The old guilt may try to send another invoice. It may say you have not done enough to deserve quiet. It may list what remains unfinished. It may point toward another person's needs. It may remind you that tomorrow is uncertain. You do not have to argue with every line. You can look at the invoice and decline to pay. Not with anger, with recognition. This charge is old. This charge is not useful. This charge does not improve the plan. This charge does not protect the people I love. This charge does not belong in the night. You can let the paper drift away without chasing it. You can feel the rope move through your hand. You can sense the boat finding a more balanced angle. The water is still moving. The journey is still real. You are still here. You are still capable. You are still responsible. You are also permitted to stop feeding the strain. The deepest form of receiving tonight may not come from another person. It may come from your own willingness to stop withholding peace from yourself. Not perfect peace, not permanent peace. Enough peace for the next breath to arrive without being judged. Enough peace for the jaw to release some of its work. Enough peace for the shoulders to stop carrying tomorrow. Enough peace for the heart to understand that it does not have to solve every condition before it is treated with care. The line softens. The boat levels. The way opens. You do not owe pain for this movement. You do not owe shame for this steadiness. You do not owe another hour of proving. You can let the new sentences begin to fall through you now, one after another. Light enough to be heard, steady enough to remain. Each one a small easing of the hand. The first drop of rain is not a promise that every condition will change by morning. It is a quieter promise. You will no longer use the night to punish yourself for being human. You will no longer treat tiredness as evidence against your character. You will no longer ask an exhausted heart to hold the full force of every unfinished concern. The line has already moved through your hand. The sail has already begun to change shape. The boat does not need a dramatic turn. It needs continued balance. The old grip may return in small ways. A thought may pull sharply. A memory may lean the whole vessel to one side. A future conversation may seem to demand rehearsal. A number may appear in the mind and ask to be checked. A choice may reopen itself after you already considered it. You may feel the hand closing again. There is no failure in recognizing the reflex. Recognition is the moment skill returns. You can feel the pull without obeying it completely. You can let the line move. You can remember that a thought does not become more useful because it arrives at night. You can remember that repetition does not always create preparation. You can remember that fear may repeat a question long after the useful answer has been given. The hand can respond, not with force, with understanding. This has been considered. This belongs to daylight. This does not improve through strain. This concern matters, and I can still rest. The boat does not argue with the water. It does not demand that the wind explain itself. It responds. It is to what is present. You can do the same. Right now, what is present is a tired body, a heart that has carried enough for one day, a mind that has used its strength, a night that does not need to become another workplace. You may still hear inner movement. Water continues beneath a leveling boat. Motion does not mean danger. Thought does not mean instruction. Feeling does not mean prophecy. You can let mental movement pass without tightening around every change. The rain can begin as simple truth, not exaggerated, not distant, not demanding. Words that make room, words that remove pressure, words that support the hand in remaining responsive. Let each line arrive alone. Let it stand without argument. Let it pass through the mind and settle where it can. I can rest without owing the world more effort. I meet my needs without turning them into guilt. I welcome fair support while keeping my dignity. I make practical choices from steadiness, not shame. Whole. I release the strain that does not improve my direction. I trust myself to meet tomorrow in tomorrow's light. I ease my grip and life carries me forward. I am safe enough to stop proving for tonight. I remain worthy when my work is finished. I do not measure my value by exhaustion. I can care deeply without carrying everything at once. I let unfinished tasks remain outside this hour. I can return to practical matters with a clearer mind. I respect my limits. I respect my effort. I respect my need for restoration. I do not have to rehearse every possible outcome. I can make one thoughtful choice at a time. I let calm stand beside responsibility. I let support stand beside independence. I let fairness stand beside generosity. I let boundaries stand beside love. I let rest stand beside purpose. I can look at reality without attacking myself. I can learn without feeling ashamed. I can ask without becoming smaller. I can decline without becoming unkind. I can accept without becoming indebted in my heart. I can pause my effort without losing my direction. I do not need guilt to keep my values alive. I do not need fear to prove that I care. I do not need tension to prove that I am prepared. I can hold what matters with a steadier hand. I can release what does not belong to this night. I can leave tomorrow's decisions for tomorrow's strength. I trust thoughtful action more than repeated worry. I trust clear questions more than silent shame. I trust honest limits more than forced agreement. I trust rest to restore what strain has used. I am learning a kinder form of discipline. I am learning a calmer form of courage. I am learning to receive without disappearing. I am learning to contribute without abandoning myself. I am learning to move without fighting every change. I have enough permission to rest now. I have enough wisdom to stop now. I have enough dignity to care for myself now. I have enough courage to loosen the line. I have enough trust for one quiet night. My effort can end without becoming failure. My needs can exist without apology. My heart can soften without becoming careless. My mind can become quiet without losing intelligence. My body can settle without waiting for perfection. I choose steadiness. I choose fairness. I choose clear direction. I choose respectful support. I choose rest without guilt. Less strain, more balance. A wiser hold, a quieter heart. Enough for tonight. The rain does not need to fall harder. It continues through softness. Each line has touched the same place from a different direction. The place that learned to connect worth with effort. The place that feared support might become control. The place that believed rest should come only after complete certainty. The place that treated every comfort as something to repay. That place may not be convinced by every sentence. It does not have to be. It has heard a new tone, a voice that does not threaten, a voice that does not exaggerate, a voice that respects practical reality while refusing to add shame. The new voice does not tell you to ignore the line. It teaches you how to hold it. It does not tell you the wind will always favor you. It reminds you that force is not your only skill. It does not tell you that the water will never change. It reminds you that you can respond without bracing against every movement in advance. You have spent enough nights trying to predict the whole journey. You have tried to solve the next stretch before reaching it. You have imagined every shift in the wind. You have prepared explanations for choices that have not been questioned. You have created conversations in your mind and answered both sides. You have examined the same concern from so many angles that examination became exhaustion. The heart cannot find rest while it is being asked to conduct an endless review. It needs an ending point, not the end of all responsibility, the end of responsibility for this day. The line can rest in your hand without being pulled. The sail can remain above you without demanding your attention. The boat can continue to be held by the water while you stop measuring every movement. Let the forehead release its effort. It does not need to solve. Let the space around the eyes become easier. They do not need to search. Let the jaw stop holding words that do not need to be spoken tonight. Let the tongue rest without preparing an explanation. Let the throat remain quiet. No defense is required here. Let the shoulders lower from the work of carrying invisible weight. They do not need to support tomorrow before it arrives. Let the arms become heavier. The rope does not require full force. Let the hands soften. The fingers have held enough. They have completed what they could complete. They have reached, lifted, typed, prepared, carried, cleaned, opened, closed, and supported. They do not need another assignment. The palms can rest. The line can move without being lost. Let the chest stop proving that you are ready. A softer breath does not make you less prepared. A slower rhythm does not make you less responsible. The heart can continue its faithful work without carrying every concern as a physical burden. Let the ribs release the armor of the day. They can move without urgency. Let the stomach loosen around decisions already made. It does not need to digest tomorrow's uncertainty tonight. Let the back become supported. You do not have to hold yourself upright against every possibility. The boat is not steadied by one part alone. The whole vessel is carried. The water remains beneath it. The sail remains above it. The line remains near. Direction remains possible even while effort decreases. Let the hips become heavy. Let the legs stop preparing to move. There is nowhere you must rush to from this moment. Let the knees release their readiness. Let the feet become still. They have traveled far enough for one day. The body may not respond all at once. Some areas may remain guarded. That is all right. The hand does not yank the rope toward softness. It eases a small movement, a little less pressure, a little more room. The body learns through the absence of force. You are not ordering it to sleep. You are removing some of what has prevented sleep. The accusation, the review, the urgency, the idea that peace must be earned, the fear that stopping creates danger. Each one loosens by a small degree. You do not need to watch the process. The boat can level without your constant inspection. You do not need to check whether calm has arrived. Checking can become another grip. Let calm come in its own measure. Let tiredness be tiredness. Let wakefulness be wakefulness, for as long as it remains. You are not failing if sleep does not come immediately. The night is still giving your body a quieter place. Rest can begin before sleep. Rest begins when the fight ends. Rest begins when you stop demanding that this moment become another moment. Rest begins when you stop treating your current state as a problem to solve. You are here. The room is still. The work has reached its boundary. The day no longer needs a defense. There may be something you regret. You can meet it later with clarity. There may be something you forgot. You can address it when action becomes possible. There may be something you fear. You can seek sound guidance when the time is right. There may be something that cannot be fixed by you alone. You are permitted to acknowledge that truth. The mind may insist that keeping the concern active is a form of loyalty. Concern can be sincere without being continuous. Love does not disappear when attention rests. Commitment does not disappear when thought becomes quiet. Your values remain in you. They do not need to be rehearsed through anxiety. You can care in daylight. You can act with information. You can ask for support. You can revise the plan. You can learn what you need to learn. You can take the next responsible step. None of those actions require this hour to become painful. The 7 sentences remain near. They do not need to be repeated with force. Their meaning is already inside the movement of the line. Rest without debt, needs without guilt, support with dignity, choices without shame, direction without excess strain, tomorrow in its own light. A life that can carry you forward. The words are becoming shorter because the heart no longer needs explanation. It needs permission from within its own wisdom, not permission from an outside authority. The recognition that enough effort has been given, enough thought, enough review, enough holding. The sail gives, the hull settles, the water carries, the hand softens. Nothing essential is lost. You are not losing your seriousness. You are not losing your strength. You are not losing your ability to respond. You are relieved. Sing the force that no longer serves the direction. The guilt tax may return tomorrow. Old systems often send another notice after they have been challenged. You may feel guilty when you say no. You may feel guilty when you accept care. You may feel guilty when you choose a fair exchange. You may feel guilty when you stop at a reasonable time. The feeling does not prove the choice was wrong. It may only prove the choice was new. Let discomfort be information, not authority. Ask whether the action respects reality. Ask whether it respects your values. Ask whether it respects your capacity. Ask whether it leaves your dignity intact. Those questions offer more wisdom than guilt alone. For tonight, no more questions are required. You have already looked closely. You have already listened. You have already felt the old grip. You have already witnessed the rope move. Now the lesson can become quiet. Your body does not need to remember every sentence. It only needs to experience less force. A softer hand, a lower shoulder, an unclenched jaw, a breath that is not being supervised, a thought that passes without being pursued. The rain becomes lighter. I am here. I am held. I am worthy. I am learning. I am resting. I am enough. Less pressure, more room. Steady water. Leveling boat. Open hand. Quiet heart. Rest now. The night does not ask you to finish becoming. It asks nothing. It does not examine your record. It does not compare your effort. It does not calculate whether you have done enough. The old collector may still stand at a distance with its papers. You do not need to approach. You do not need to explain. You do not need to sign. The charge can remain unanswered. The boat moves beyond it. The distance grows. The rope rests more lightly across the hand. The strain that seemed necessary begins to reveal itself as habit. The habit that seemed permanent begins to reveal itself as something that can change. Change may continue slowly. That is no reason to doubt it. A hand's width was enough to alter the angle. A small inner sentence can alter the way a moment is held. One rested night can become evidence. One respectful boundary can become evidence. One accepted kindness can become evidence. One practical choice made without self-attack can become evidence. The mind gathers these moments. The body gathers them too. They become a new form of knowledge. You can move without punishing yourself. You can prepare without living in alarm. You can care without becoming the only support. You can rest before every problem is solved. Let this knowledge remain without effort. It does not need to be memorized. It does not need to be performed. It can settle with the boat. It can rest beneath the final movement of the sail. It can become part of the way your hand meets the line tomorrow, a little more responsive, a little less afraid of adjustment, a little more willing to trust clear action over endless tension. For now, the direction is rest. The wise adjustment is less review, less proving, less payment, less grip. The way remains. The boat remains. You remain. Nothing more is required from you here. The water no longer needs to be studied. It can move beneath you without becoming a problem to solve. The rope no longer needs your full strength. It can rest across the hand that has finally remembered how to feel. There is still a direction. There is still a journey. There is still a life waiting beyond this night. Nothing important is being abandoned. The boat is learning a cleaner way to travel. You are learning a cleaner way to care. For so long, care may have meant remaining alert. It may have meant thinking ahead for everyone. It may have meant seeing the need before anyone spoke. It may have meant holding the line long after your arm began to ache. You became skilled at anticipating. You became skilled at preventing. You became skilled at carrying what other people did not see. These skills helped you through real seasons. They may have protected relationships. They may have kept important things moving. They may have helped you create order inside uncertainty. You can be grateful for what they gave you without requiring them to work through every hour. A skill becomes a burden when it is never permitted to rest. A guard becomes exhausted when every sound is treated as danger. A hand becomes numb when it never changes pressure. The wiser hand does not abandon its duty. It understands timing. It knows that darkness is not a demand for more force. It knows that fatigue changes what can be seen clearly. It knows that a line held too tightly can distort the course. This is why your rest matters to the practical life you will meet again. Rest supports attention. Rest supports patience. Rest supports memory. Rest supports the ability to separate urgency from importance. Rest supports the courage to ask for more information before deciding. Rest supports the ability to hear your own no. Rest supports the ability to recognize a respectful yes. You are not stepping away from responsibility. You are restoring the person who carries it. The old guilt may not understand this yet. It may still believe that suffering keeps you honorable. It may still believe that comfort weakens your character. It may still believe that every good thing must be balanced by immediate sacrifice. You do not have to defeat that voice tonight. You only have to stop organizing the night around it. Let it become distant. Let it speak without receiving an answer. Let it hold its old papers while you continue beyond the reach of its desk. The charge has expired. The invoice has no authority. The life you are living does not require you to purchase every quiet moment with pain. You have already given effort. You have already considered what could be considered. You have already carried what could be carried. The unfinished parts of life are not evidence that you failed to finish the day. Every life contains unfinished parts. Every journey continues beyond one stretch of water. Every direction reveals itself in stages. You are not required to see the entire route from this point. You need only enough clarity for the next true step. That step does not belong to this hour. This hour belongs to release from unnecessary force. Feel the difference between release and disappearance. You remain here. You remain yourself. You remain connected to the people and purposes you value. You are not fading from your life. You are fading from the argument with it. The argument said you should have done more. The argument said you should have known more. The argument said you should have prevented what no one could fully predict. The argument said you should be able to carry what would exhaust anyone. The argument said that needing rest proved weakness. The argument was built from fear. Fear can sound certain. Certainty does not make it wise. A tired heart does not need another trial. It needs to be removed from the witness stand. No more evidence, no more defense, no more comparison. No more imagined judgment. The day can close without a verdict. You do not need to decide whether you were perfect. You were present. You tried. You adapted. You carried. You learned. You reached this night. That is enough truth for now. The boat is more level than before. The sail is no longer pulling every part of it sideways. The rope has moved through your fingers. The hand has not lost control. It has gained sensitivity. The path across the water does not need to be forced into existence. It appears as the boat continues. A little more space, a little less strain, a little more movement that is not powered by fear. This can become part of the way you live. Not a rule, not another standard to fail. A practice of checking the grip. When you feel pressure rising, you can ask whether the line needs force or adjustment. When guilt appears after a reasonable need, you can ask whether the charge is real or inherited. When help is offered, you can ask whether it is respectful rather than refusing automatically. When a practical concern emerges, you can ask what action belongs to now and what belongs to later. When the day has reached its limit, you can ask whether continued effort is improving anything. These questions are not meant for this night. They are seeds for another time. You do not need to remember the M consciously. The deeper lesson is simpler. Holding is enough. You do not have to grip. Care is enough. You do not have to punish. Preparation is enough. You do not have to predict everything. Effort is enough. You do not have to erase your needs. Love is enough. You do not have to disappear inside it. The heart can begin to recognize this as a form of prosperity, not the promise of a number, not a fantasy that ignores pressure. A greater availability to wise support, a greater willingness to make clear choices, a greater respect for your own capacity, a greater ability to meet resources without shame, a greater openness to learning, asking, planning, and adjusting, a greater freedom from the idea that strain is the only honorable way forward. This kind of prosperity begins in relationship. The relationship between effort and rest, between giving and accepting, between planning and trusting, between value and performance, between concern and action, between the hand and the line. You do not need perfection in any of these relationships. You need movement. The line can tighten when a true need appears. It can ease when the pull becomes wasteful. The hand can learn. The boat can respond. Your life can include correction without condemnation. It can include planning without panic. It can include limits without humiliation. It can include support without loss of dignity. It can include comfort without a hidden invoice. Let these possibilities remain near the edge of sleep. They do not need to become conclusions. They can remain soft knowledge, knowledge that the body understands before the mind explains it. The shoulders know what less carrying feels like. The jaw knows what less defense feels like. The hands know what less force feels like. The breath knows what less supervision feels like. The heart knows what less accusation feels like. Let the body keep the lesson. Let the mind become less responsible for remembering. There is nothing to memorize, nothing to perform tomorrow, nothing to prove through perfect calm. You may wake with old thoughts. That does not erase what shifted here. You may feel the grip return. That does not mean the hand learned nothing. Learning is not measured by never returning to an old response. It is measured by how soon you recognize it, how kindly you respond, how willing you are to adjust again. The boat does not make one correction for the entire journey. It responds many times. The wind changes, the water changes, the hand changes with them. That is not inconsistency, that is skill. You are permitted to become skillful without becoming hard. You are permitted to be alert without being afraid of rest. You are permitted to care without carrying every outcome. You are permitted to value practical action without making anxiety your manager. You are permitted to keep your dignity while learning. You are permitted to seek qualified guidance when a concern requires knowledge you do not have. You are permitted to begin again after a difficult choice. You are permitted to stop for the night before every answer is found. These permissions do not come from someone above you. They arise from a more accurate understanding of what human strength requires. Strength needs recovery. Judgment needs space. Courage needs a body that is not constantly being threatened by its own voice. Responsibility needs proportion. Love needs boundaries if it is to remain generous. A journey needs adjustment if it is to continue. The boat has never asked the rope to prove its worth by remaining tight. The sail has never asked the hand to suffer before it responds. The water has never demanded that the vessel apologize for leveling. These demands came from an old interpretation. The interpretation can soften. The night is wide enough to hold that softening. You do not need to watch it happen. You do not need to complete it. You do not need to understand every layer of where it began. The mind can release its tools. No more excavation, no more review, no more effort to improve this moment. Let the moment be plain, a body resting, a room quieting, a heart no longer required to fix itself. The heart may still be tired. Tiredness is not asking to be transformed into inspiration. It is asking to be met without pressure. Let it be tired. Let it sink into support. Let it stop explaining. Let it stop apologizing. Let it stop trying to become worthy of the bed beneath it. Support is already here. The body is already being held. The surface beneath you does not ask what you completed. It does not ask whether you made the right choices. It does not ask whether tomorrow will be easy. It receives your weight without judgment. You can follow that example. Receive the weight of this day without turning it into a moral story. Some parts were handled well. Some parts were difficult. Some parts remain uncertain. All of them can rest outside active thought. The day does not need to be rewritten before it is released. It can remain imperfect. It can remain human. It can move behind you. The boat continues. The distance from the shore of effort increases. The sounds of the day become less distinct. The pull in the sail becomes easier. The line rests. The hand warms around it without closing. There is no need to search the water. There is no need to calculate speed. There is no need to measure progress. Forward movement can exist without being monitored. Healing can exist without being monitored. Rest can exist without being monitored. Sleep can arrive without being monitored. Let the watcher become tired too. The part that checks whether you are calm. The part that checks whether the method is working. The part that checks how much time has passed. The part that checks whether tomorrow will be harder because you are still awake. That watcher has worked enough. It can sit down inside you. It can release the rail. It can stop scanning the horizon. The boat knows how to remain on water. The body knows many ways of moving towards sleep. You do not need to manage every one. There may be another thought. Let it pass like a change in pressure along the line. There may be another memory. Let the hand stay responsive. There may be a brief return of guilt. Let it find no desk, no pen, no signature. The charge cannot be completed without your agreement. You are not agreeing tonight. You are choosing a different economy within yourself. Effort is respected. Rest is respected. Needs are respected. Limits are respected. Support is examined with wisdom. Practical action is taken in its proper time. No part of this arrangement requires shame. No part requires a tired heart to remain on duty forever. The 7 sentences are still present, though they no longer need full form. Rest without debt, needs without guilt, support with dignity, choices with steadiness, strain released, tomorrow in daylight, forward with less grip. They become smaller. Rest, dignity, steadiness, trust, enough. The old reflex may make one last attempt to be useful. It may bring forward a task you forgot. It may remind you of something you meant to say. It may offer one more calculation. It may ask you to review one more possibility. You can thank the reflex for trying to protect you. You do not need to follow it. A thought can be acknowledged without being appointed. A concern can be real without becoming tonight's leader. A task can matter without entering this bed. The hand does not tighten for every small shift. It waits for information. It feels before it reacts. It remembers that a passing pull is not the whole direction. You can let this thought pass. You can let the next thought pass. You do not have to count them. You do not have to clear the mind. You do not have to achieve silence. The mind can remain a little active while the body rests more deeply. The boat can hear water against its side and remain steady. Sound is not danger. Movement is not failure. Wakefulness is not a mistake. You are not doing the night incorrectly. You are no longer grading the process. You are no longer asking rest to perform. You are giving it room. Room around the chest. Room around the throat. Room behind the eyes. Room inside the hands. Room around tomorrow. The old grip had filled every space with duty. The eased line returned space to you, space to breathe without explanation, space to feel without correction, space to be unfinished, space to be supported, space to exist beyond usefulness. Your life is not only what you solve, it is also what you experience. It is the warmth beneath your body. It is the quiet between thoughts. It is the relief of not answering. It is the simple fact that you are here without needing to produce evidence. Let the night hold that fact. Let it become ordinary. You are here. You are tired. You are still worthy of tenderness. You are still worthy of respectful support. You are still worthy of a practical future that is not built through self-punishment. You do not have to turn these words into a promise. They can remain a direction, a line eased, a vessel leveled, a hand that keeps contact without pain. The next step can wait. The next answer can wait. The next useful effort can wait. Waiting through the night is not neglect. It is timing. It is proportion. It is trust in your future capacity. The day used what it needed. The night is returning something. Not certainty, capacity, not a guarantee. Clarity, not escape. Rest. You do not have to reach for these things. They are gathered through less effort now, less checking, less holding, less inner noise, less judgment. The body receives the absence of demand. It knows what to do with that absence. It sinks. It warms. It slows. It lets the surface beneath it carry more weight. You are no longer holding yourself above rest. You are entering it without ceremony. No announcement, no test, no requirement to feel peaceful enough. Only the slow end of effort. Only the quiet end of proving. Only the line resting more freely in the hand. The night can hold more than one truth at once. A concern can be unfinished. Your rest can still be necessary. A choice can require attention. Your body can still be released from it for now. Someone you love can be struggling. You can still stop carrying their whole future in your chest. A practical problem can deserve action. That action can wait for the hour when action is possible. This is not indifference. it is proportion. The hand that knows proportion does not pull with maximum force through every part of the journey. It feels what the present stretch requires. It knows that the same grip cannot serve calm water, changing wind, and a vessel already leaning under pressure. Your inner response can become that precise, not perfect, precise enough. You can care about a matter without placing your entire body inside it. You can remember a duty without turning remembrance into punishment. You can respect a deadline without living every hour as though the deadline is already here. You can value preparation without preparing until your thoughts lose their shape. The old pattern may have taught you that more effort is always safer, more checking, more planning, more holding, more proof. The boat offers a quieter correction. Sometimes more force creates less control. Sometimes the line becomes harder to read because the hand is too tense to feel it. Sometimes the course improves when the pressure is reduced. This is true in conversation. A frightened answer can close a door that a considered answer might keep open. This is true in decision-making. A rushed choice can feel like relief while creating more strain later. This is true in self-respect. An automatic apology can protect the moment while teaching you that your needs are always an inconvenience. This is true in rest. Another hour of thought can feel responsible while leaving you less able to respond tomorrow. You are not being asked to trust an empty promise. You are being asked to trust the evidence of your own limits. The mind has a limit. The body has a limit. Attention has a limit. Good judgment depends on respecting those limits. A rope can carry force without being pulled beyond usefulness. A sail can carry wind without being stretched into distortion. A vessel can carry you without being driven at its hardest angle. You can carry responsibility without turning yourself into the price. That understanding may reach an old sadness. There may have been years when no one told you that you were allowed to have a limit. There may have been seasons when stopping was not truly available. There may have been people who benefited from your inability to say no. There may have been circumstances where your strength was necessary because support was absent. You do not need to deny those realities. You also do not need to repeat them inside every safe hour. The past may explain the grip. It does not own the hand forever. The hand belongs to the person you are now. A person with more knowledge. A person with more choice in some areas. A person capable of asking what is actually required. A person capable of seeking help where help is appropriate. A person capable of recognizing when a concern needs a plan and when it needs rest. You may not have complete freedom in every part of life. Very few people do. Healing does not require pretending that every option is open. It asks you to use the freedom that is present. The freedom to soften one accusation. The freedom to delay one unnecessary review. The freedom to stop calling exhaustion virtue. The freedom to say, that a need is real, the freedom to seek clear information instead of remaining alone with fear, the freedom to let this night be different from nights that came before it. No one else needs to witness the change. The boat does not need applause when it levels. The hand does not need praise for choosing the wiser pressure. The movement can be private. It can be quiet enough that only your body knows. The chest has a little more room. The shoulders are no longer lifted toward an emergency. The fingers are no longer preparing to solve. The face is no longer arranged for explanation. The body understands these small changes as new information. It learns that stillness can occur without punishment. It learns that an unfinished matter can exist outside active thought. It learns that care can remain while tension decreases. It learns that the night can pass without constant supervision. This learning is not dramatic. It gathers slowly. A calmer ending to one day, a respectful response to one need, a clearer boundary, a fairer exchange, a request for qualified guidance when the situation calls for it, a decision made after rest rather than inside panic. These moments change the way the hand meets the rope. The grip is no longer the first and only answer. There is choice, there is feeling, there is adjustment. There is a brief space between the pull and the response. That space can protect you. It can keep guilt from speaking as though it is fact. It can keep urgency from pretending it is wisdom. It can keep old family fear from becoming the voice of every present decision. It can keep one difficult number from becoming a judgment of your entire life. It can keep a tired evening from becoming a trial of your worth. You may still make mistakes. A softer inner voice does not make you incapable of error. It makes correction more possible. When shame is lower, you can look more honestly. When fear is lower, you can ask more clearly. When guilt is lower, you can choose without trying to punish yourself in advance. When the hand is responsive, it can correct direction sooner. There is no need to be flawless to benefit from this. There is only a need to remain reachable by your own wisdom. The old grip made wisdom difficult to hear because every signal arrived as alarm. The new hold makes distinctions possible. This needs action. This needs information. This needs a boundary. This needs patience. This needs support. This needs to wait. This needs nothing more tonight. The last sentence may be the most difficult. Nothing more tonight. The mind may hear it as abandonment. The body may hear it as mercy. Let the body have a voice. It has been speaking through fatigue, through heaviness, through the ache behind the eyes, through the restless turning that comes when exhaustion and vigilance meet. The body is not betraying your goals. It is reporting the cost of the current pressure. A wise hand listens to the vessel. It does not demand speed while ignoring the angle. It does not force the sail while the hull is straining. It makes the adjustment that keeps the journey possible. You are making that adjustment now. The change does not require a grand feeling. You may feel only a little less resistance. You may feel nothing obvious. The line can still have moved. The body can still be receiving a new instruction. The instruction is not that life is always safe. It is that constant tension cannot create complete safety. The instruction is not that every offer should be trusted. It is that discernment works better when fear is not making every decision. The instruction is not that practical concerns should be ignored. It is that practical concerns deserve your clearest available mind. The instruction is not that rest solves everything. It is that rest supports the person who will meet what remains. Let this understanding become quieter. No more explaining. No more building a case. The heart does not need to be persuaded through force. It can be accompanied. The rope lies more softly across the palm. The fingers remain curved without closing. The wrist releases. The arm no longer pulls against the whole wind. The boat responds. The edge rises farther from the water. The movement becomes even. There is still sound around the hull. There is still motion beneath you. Neither requires alarm. The vessel can move and remain balanced. You can have thoughts and remain at rest. A thought may appear. It does not need a reply. A feeling may rise. It does not need a solution. A memory may pass. It does not need to become a destination. The line may shift. The hand can remain soft. You can let each experience come and go without turning it into work. This is the final easing, not the final easing of your life, only the easing that belongs here. The one that tells the body the watch has ended. The one that tells the mind no more useful decisions are required. The one that tells the heart it will not be charged for resting. No debt is being created. No opportunity is being lost by becoming still. No value is disappearing from you. The person you are remains whole in silence. The care you carry remains real without active worry. The plans you have made remain available without rehearsal. The knowledge you need can be sought when daylight returns. The next responsible action will be clearer when it is actually time to take it. For now, the boat does not need speed. It needs steadiness. The hand does not need force. It needs trust in adjustment. The heart does not need repair. It needs rest from being treated as a problem. Let the tired part of you stop reporting for duty. Let the capable part stop searching for another task. Let the careful part stop reviewing the course. Let the generous part understand that care can flow inward too. Let the practical part trust that tomorrow still exists. Every part can remain aboard without taking control. No part needs to be exiled. No part needs to be shamed. The fearful part can sit down. The responsible part can rest its hands. The hopeful part does not need to make promises. The weary part can become heavy. The whole of you can move forward without one part carrying everything. Less grip, more way, less proof, more presence, less punishment, more dignity, less review, more rest. The line is held, the course remains. The night is enough. The sail softens, the boat levels, the hand eases, the water carries, the night deepens. You are not required to follow every word now. The words can continue without your effort. They can become distant sounds. They can dissolve into the steady movement beneath you. The mind does not need a final lesson. It needs less to hold. Let the last concerns become lighter, not solved, lighter. Let the last duties become farther away, not denied, farther away. Let the last questions remain unanswered without becoming threatening. Morning can meet them. You do not have to, not now. The heart can stop repairing itself. It can stop checking whether it is ready. It can stop preparing to deserve peace. Peace does not require a finished heart. It can sit beside tiredness. It can sit beside uncertainty. It can sit beside a life that is still in motion. The rope loosens by one more small measure. The change is almost invisible. The boat feels it. The water receives the hull more evenly. The sail no longer strains for maximum force. The direction remains. The effort becomes quiet. This is enough way for one night. You can be carried without becoming passive. You can be still without becoming stuck. You can release pressure without releasing your values. You can close your eyes without closing your future. Tomorrow will not need the version of you who stayed awake to prove devotion. It will benefit from the version of you who let the boat level. The version who recognized the difference between care and punishment. The version who chose a wiser hold. The version who understood that less grip could create more way. Let that understanding move below words, into the hands, into the chest, into the tired places that have waited for a kinder instruction. No demand, no command, no performance, only the easing, only the leveling, only the quiet movement forward. Your body can become heavy now. Your thoughts can become incomplete. A sentence may begin and lose its ending. An image may form and drift. The mind may move toward ordinary dreams you do not need to follow. The water carries what you no longer hold. The boat remains steady enough. The line remains near. The hand remains soft. You have not lost anything necessary. You have released what was making the journey harder. The night becomes larger than the concern. The quiet becomes deeper than the review. The support beneath you becomes more real than the old demand to keep going. There is nothing left to repay. There is nothing left to prove. There is nothing left to fix before rest. The guilt tax is retired for this night. The old invoice fades. The hand opens. The boat settles. The way remains. I ease my grip and move forward. Keep rising. Life is with you. Sleep gathers where the strain once lived.